Welcome, fellow gamers and life explorers, to Press Start to Grow. I'm your host, Jarek, or you can call me Jet, and today we are taking a deep dive into one of the most iconic experiences in gaming history, Bioshock Remastered. So this is one of my favorite games, and I played this way back in 2018, and I really had a great time. So this episode, just revisiting a classic reimagined visual and So, this is the world of Bioshock Remastered, setting the stage. So, for those who may be new to this universe, or for those of you wickedly nostalgic about it, so Bioshock Remastered transports us back to Rapture. So, this is an underwater city, and it was built on ideals, dreams, and a tangle of ethically challenging choices. So originally released in 2007, so Bioshock broke the mold by combining first-person action with a story so layered that it forces you to question authority, free will, and the very nature of control. And not only that, when I played this game, so I was scared to hell because I wasn't expecting how this game was like the horror theme, because you will be playing and you will be playing a role of someone who engulfs an adventure underwater, and there are plenty of monsters, or let's say infected. I can't say infected or monsters, but they are so unique. They were uniquely designed, and they are, let's say, psychopath. I don't know what am I talking about, but anyway, and also, so with the remastered edition, so this is the remastered, so everything just improved. The visuals, sound, and the details are even amplified, and if it's amplified, it means that the horror level amplified as well. So letting us fully immerse ourselves in a dystopian wonderland that pulses with both beauty and foreboding. So in Rapture, so Rapture is a city, so that's the place that we went, and you will navigate a sprawling Art Deco labyrinth where every crumbling corridor and dusty overhead light tells a story of ambition gone awry, or let's say gone wrong. So as you journey deeper, you uncover the unsettling truths behind its creation, a paradise built on the promise of absolute freedom that in the end spirals into tyranny. So the game isn't merely a shooter, but it's also a narrative that critiques the very philosophies of this time, and the themes of objectivism, worship of individualism, and the collapse of utopian dreams mirror debates that have echoed through society for decades. And it's actually amazing because this game is very unique. The concept is just truly imaginative, and the developers really did well designing. And it's these reflective layers that make Bioshock Remastered a fertile ground for self-improvement and growth. So imagine a world where every decision you make is laced with moral ambiguity, where the line between right and wrong blurs with each whispered command. So here in Rapture, that line isn't just crossed, it's totally erased. And that's what makes this game such a profound reflection on our own lives. So just as in our daily battles, against personal limitations and ethical dilemmas, so this game, Bioshock, challenges us to confront the reality behind our actions, and it's a message that resonates on a deeply personal level. So, well, let's have a breakdown. So let's break down the genius behind Bioshock storytelling. So at its core, the narrative unfolds like a gritty, surreal fable. So we step into the shoes of Jack. So an everyman who, unbeknownst to himself, is caught in a web of manipulation and even revelation. The twist, epitomized by that infamous phrase, "Would you kindly?" isn't just a clever plot device, it's a commentary on free will. It forces you, which is you the player, to realize how even your own agency can be undermined by the very systems you trust. So the character arcs in Bioshock, aren't drawn in broad strokes. They're etched in nuance. So consider Andrew Ryan. So Andrew Ryan is the enigmatic creator of Rapture. So that ended up in tyranny. So it went wrong. So his dream was to build a society free from the constraints of government and morality. So that's why he had a vision to live a city underground. So maybe to escape the toxicity from the outside world. Like, how can you say that to the land? To the land people, and it's a vision that devolved into a nightmare of greed and delusion. So we have Ryan. So Ryan stands as both a tragic hero and a cautionary tale. So his uncompromising ideology, while initially inspiring, ultimately leads to ruin. I think that's some of the geniuses ended up with because they were overthinking a lot, and maybe Ryan just was or had some kind of a self-destructive behavior. So meanwhile, characters like Atlas, who awakens resistance within you, juxtapose Ryan's rigid vision with the idea that unity and compassion might be the keys to survival in a fractured world. So each interaction, each moral quandary, pushes us to the question: so when does following orders stifle true freedom? So it's a very nice question, but when we talk about the game environment, so the game environments further deepens into its narrative. So the physical decay of Rapture, or the Rapture City, mirrors the collapse of its founder's dreams. So every rusted pipe or flickering neon sign is a silent reminder of how the price of unchecked ambition can lead not just to societal decay, but to inner turmoil as well. Wow. So we have Bioshock. So Bioshock doesn't simply entertain, it also invites us to pause and ponder the human condition. So it asks us, without offering simple answers about the essence of choice itself. So here's the question: did you choose to be a hero, a villain, or is the dichotomy itself a flawed construct? So this web of questions doesn't just set the backdrop for a thrilling gameplay experience, it sets up the canvas for a profound exploration of our personal narratives. So yeah, well, how about we talk about the lessons, the life lessons and impact from the this game, which is the Bioshock Remastered. So, well, this is not just on gamers, but on anyone willing to look past the surface of pixels and violence. So, what makes this game truly memorable is the way it forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about our choices and the systems that shape our lives. So, first up is the lesson of agency versus destiny. So, in Bioshock, your journey begins with the illusion of control. So, the narrative cleverly blindsides you into surrendering your free will, reminding you that sometimes the forces that guide our lives are more insidious than they appear. And it's a reminder to remain vigilant about the external influences molding our decisions, whether they come in the form of societal expectations, peer pressure, or even our own internal biases. And in our everyday lives, this might translate into taking a step back and questioning, are we truly making our own choices, or are we following a predetermined script? So this leads us to the topic of responsibility and consequence. So, well, in the chaotic environment of Rapture, every choice is an echo, right? And the moral dilemmas you face aren't abstract. They have this tangible consequences that ripple through the narrative. So reflecting on our lives, we see that similar patterns emerge. Every decision, even from the smallest personal habit to major life-altering choices, carries weight. Bioshock teaches us that responsibility isn't even a burden, but a form of empowerment. By owning our decisions, we shape our destiny. So I remember a time when I faced a pivotal decision in my life, and watching how the choices in Bioshock unraveled. I was very determined. I was very reminded that I don't know, the courage isn't in choosing the easy path, but in accepting the difficult one while learning from every misstep. So it's a matter of choices. So if you make this choice for you, then you gotta live up with the consequences. You control your choices, but you can't control the consequences. It's like whenever you pick the end of the stick, you would also pick the other end of it. That's why it's very important to own your decisions, live with the consequences, and yeah. So another significant takeaway is that the peril of unchecked ambition. So we have Andrew. So Andrew Ryan made the Rapture City, right? So Andrew Ryan's grand vision for Rapture was built on the promise of absolute freedom, yet his obsession led to ruthless control and ultimately self-destruction. So many of us pursue success with fervor, sometimes ignoring the human cost of our ambitions. So that's why Bioshock challenges us to reflect. So what is success if it comes at the expense of our humanity? So has the relentless pursuit of our goals isolated us from the empathic connections that make life rich? So these are tough questions, but grappling with them can guide us toward more balanced, mindful ways of striving for greatness, where ambition is tempered by compassion and accountability. And then there's the importance of questioning authority and established narratives. So Bioshock's infamous twist compels us to rethink what we accept as truth. And it nudges us to challenge the status quo, to interrogate the motives behind the voices in power. So in our lives, this lesson translates into embracing critical thinking, whether it's at work, in politics, or even within our personal relationships. When we ask why, or is this really what I want? That's going to empower ourselves to break free from the mold. So, how do these lessons from Bioshock translate into tangible steps for living a better, more fulfilled life? Let's break it down. So, this is what I've learned. So, the first lesson. So, like I said earlier, the erosion of agency. So, sometimes many of us grapple with daily. And in a world saturated with options and opinions, it's easy to feel like our paths are preordained. But Bioshock reminds us that we hold the controller, right? So we hold this mouse or whatever controller that you're using. So we hold it even when the environment seems oppressive. So take a moment each day to, maybe ask yourself, maybe face in the mirror and ask, am I living the life I chose? Or am I following the expectations of others? And that's why by putting some time to yourself, by becoming more aware of these influences, you can actively reclaim your power and make decisions that align with your true values. So when it comes to responsibility, the consider, the ripple effect of your actions. Just as the fallout from a single decision in Rapture can really alter the fate of an entire city. So our everyday choices weave the fabric of our personal narratives. Whether it's how we treat someone at work, the way we react to challenges, or the effort we put into our passions, these actions, they are part of a larger story. So Bioshock inspires us to move beyond passivity and also embrace the idea that even the smallest acts of responsibility and kindness can reverberate and create meaningful change. So reflect on a time when you chose to act thoughtfully and notice how that decision transformed your environment, even if just in a small way. Ambition, while often celebrated, can be double-edged. Just like Andrew Ryan's downfall is a stark reminder that striving for excellence should never come at the cost of our humanity. So it's okay to dream high, but also remember that you shouldn't leave yourself. So you should keep your values, your personalities, and if you have the religion, your God, it's about humility as well. So look around. Do you see authenticity fading behind facades of relentless success? So Bioshock encourages us to set goals that honor both our aspirations and our relationships. So real growth means balancing bold dreams with profound empathy. Whether it's striving for career milestones, cultivating creative endeavors, or nurturing personal connections, So think about how you can achieve your goals without losing sight of what makes you human or what really matters. At the end of the day, it's not about your career, being rich, being famous. It's about how you love people and also how you love yourself. And finally, the call to question authority is especially relevant in today's world. In Rapture City, never take anything at face value. So apply that same skepticism in your daily life. Question conventional wisdom and challenge outdated beliefs. And always be open to learning something new. So when you hear a claim that seems too neat, ask for evidence. When faced with decisions swayed by tradition or external pressure, trust your inner voice. So this critical approach doesn't mean rejecting all guidance. It means forging a path that's authentically yours. Right? So I'm your friend and I'm not your dad. I'm just giving you advice here. So please bear with me. So it's okay if I think in some ways I may be opening some ideas to some of the listeners. So and also I may be offending someone because of these tips or maybe ideas that I'm presenting. But well, I made this podcast to give an impact to the people or to whoever's listening here. But yeah, I hope that you take my words, and if you think that's gonna help you as a person to grow, then that's great. So yeah, going back, I remember a particular moment after a long day of work when a simple decision, whether to follow the crowd or to stand by my own choices, became a turning point for me. So much like the choices in Bioshock, um, yeah, that moment taught me that true freedom lies in embracing uncertainty, in learning from every stumble, and in understanding that every decision builds the mosaic of who we are, right? So this is very powerful. So it's about, even if you don't know what's coming next, just keep walking. Just embrace the uncertainty because along the way, that's where you learn. It's not about having a perfect trajectory of where you're going, but it's about starting one step at a time and trusting that somebody to go with you. So it's not about being ready, but it's about you taking action. So yeah. Now I want to turn it over to you, dear listeners. So have you ever experienced a moment in gaming where the narrative made you stop and maybe think about your own life? Perhaps it was a twist that challenged your perceptions, or maybe a character's journey that mirrored your own struggles and triumphs. So what did it make you realize about responsibility, ambition, or the power of choice? So I invite you to share your thoughts, your stories, and maybe your revelations with me. So reach out on Twitter, drop a comment on Instagram, or send an email to me. So let's build a community of like-minded adventurers who aren't just here to play games, but to learn and grow with each experience. So tell me, what game or what games has inspired you to question the status quo, to seek deeper meaning, or to take control of your own destiny? Your insights might even spark the topic for our next episode. So remember, every single decision you make contributes to your life's narrative. just like every choice in Bioshock shapes the destiny of Rapture. So share those moments where you felt a genuine connection between the game's story and your own journey. So whether it's a small epiphany or maybe a life-changing revelation, I really want to hear it all. Yeah, so before we wrap up, so let's inject a little fun into our reflection. So Bioshock isn't just a mirror for serious life lessons, it's even a playground for quirky debates. For instance, have you ever wondered how life would be if our daily choices came with a literal "would you kindly" prompt? Imagine a world where every decision was as dramatic as in a video game. Would we all be more thoughtful, or would we succumb to a hyperbolic sense of responsibility? Or consider this: if you could reprogram one aspect of your life with a plasmid upgrade, say more courage, wisdom, or even a boost in creativity, which trait would you choose and why? So, I always find it fascinating to think about how the fantasy of instant upgrades can actually mirror our real life desire to improve. Although there's no cheat code for instant growth, each challenge we face is an upgrade in itself. So, yeah, I like to end these sessions on a motivational note. So remember that growth isn't a final boss to be defeated, but it's actually a journey of continuous evolution, right? So, life, much like gaming, it's an adventure full of unexpected twists, epic battles, and moments of quiet triumph. So, every decision matters, every setback is a lesson, and every victory, no matter how small, is a step toward leveling up your true self. So, as we conclude today's deep dive into Bioshock Remastered, so I really hope that you feel as inspired and challenged as I do. So, this game, with its intricate narrative and profound moral dilemmas, isn't just entertainment, it's a powerful commentary on the forces that shape us. From the illusion of free will to the heavy cost of ambition, Bioshock forces us to reflect on our own lives and the choices we make every day. So take these lessons with you and question what seems predetermined. Embrace responsibility with pride, balance your grand ambitions with empathy, and always be willing to challenge the narrative imposed upon you by society or circumstance. After all, true growth is not about following the expected path, but about daring to write your own story, even when the plot twists leave you reeling. So I'm very grateful to have you along this journey. So each episode of Press Start to Grow is a call to arms or a call to action, a challenge to not just play the game of life, but to master it, to learn from every misstep and triumph, and to ultimately find your unique power in the choices you make. So, that's gonna be everything. Thank you so much for joining me on this first episode of Press Start to Grow. So, I'm Jerry. Again, you can call me Jack. So that's my nickname. So whatever you want, doesn't matter. So, and I hope today's exploration of Bioshock Remastered has sparked new insights and maybe inspired you to take control of your own narrative or story. So whether you're fighting through virtual dystopias or navigating the real-life challenges that test your spirit, well, remember, every decision is a chance to grow. every setback a stepping stone, and every victory, no matter how small, a reason to celebrate. So, until next time, we keep questioning, keep challenging, and as always, press start on a new day. Let's grow together, one decision at a time. So, thank you for listening to Press Start to Grow. Don't forget to share your thoughts on today's episode, or by commenting, or maybe using the hashtag Press Start to Grow. And please subscribe on Spotify for more deep dives that play on the intersections of gaming, storytelling, and self improvement. Stay curious, stay brave, and always keep leveling up. Take care.